Welcome to your midweek Barbados Today evening update this Wednesday, March the 29th. So glad you could join us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. A veiled warning from the private sector that it cannot hold strain much longer. President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Eddie Abed, today served notice that maintaining employment levels in the private sector is becoming increasingly difficult. He warned that in the current economic climate, businesses cannot afford to provide jobs out of sheer patriotism and social responsibility.
The members of this chamber, as others in the private sector, have exhibited maturity, patriotism, and responsibility in maintaining employment levels at well over 100,000, and their investments in Barbados as well. This, however, has come at a cost of lower profit levels and reduced capital investment in new and existing ventures, as our economic future is at best uncertain. In fact, uncertainty and a lack of confidence are the two buzzwords that I hear most often from business persons.
Police are investigating the sudden death of an elderly St. Michael man this morning at the General Post Office on Cheapside. The 82-year-old man was conducting business at the facility when he suddenly collapsed and died on the compound around 10:30. Police have not released the name of the victim. The search is on for a missing St. Thomas woman. She is 69-year-old Eileen Bovell of Rock Hall, who was last seen by her daughter Rosalind Wilson around 11:30 p.m. yesterday. At the time, she was wearing an armhole navy blue dress. Eileen is 5 feet 3 inches in height. She is dark complexion, slim, and has a low haircut. She has a long face, small brown eyes, and a pleasant manner. Eileen has a mental disorder. She speaks with a slur and walks with her head down and swings her arms. Anyone with information about Eileen Bovell is asked to contact the District D Police Station at 419-1726 or 419-1729 or Police Emergency 211 or the nearest police station. Now, 88-year-old Edmundo Gittins has a roof overhead tonight, 24 hours after she was evicted from the house she had called home for more than 7 decades. Chairman of the National Assistance Board, Senator David Durant, tells Barbados Today she is settling in well and plans are in train to ensure Gittins is cared for. He revealed that Gittins should soon have a home of her own.
Found an apartment for her.
Okay.
And she's in that apartment now with her son. It would have been difficult to get the son somewhere, huh? He's mentally challenged. The furniture that we were able to, that is, the ones that are good, you know, we have them there with her. And I'm also getting, I'm providing the National Assistance Board. We're going to provide home care for her 5 days a week, so she'll be looked after. I spoke to National Housing, the Minister of National Housing, and we'll get the house put on the land in St. George that we were able to get from the NHC. So we'll get the house rebuilt there, and that will start immediately. And as soon as that's finished, we're going to do a nice 2-bedroom house there for them, and then relocate them there, and we're finished. So in the meantime, everything, she's all set and taken care of, and the house is going to be started in a day or two, very soon.
Amid growing public concern about the high number of road fatalities, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Harry Husbands, is urging Barbadians to develop a culture of safety. Speaking during debate in the upper chamber on a resolution to provide a financial guarantee for the Barbados Conference Services Limited, Husbands described the situation as worrying. He stressed that Barbadians must take a fresh approach on matters of health and safety.
With the recent spate of accidents we have been having on the highway, with people driving their own personal vehicles. Now, if they were driving delivery trucks or something, we would immediately identify that as an issue of safety and health at work. Maybe the truck was not well maintained, the employer didn't do this, the employer didn't do that. But that same consciousness, I think, needs to be brought to everyday life so that we develop a culture of safety and health. It is not safety and health at work, but it is safety and health at your home, when you're driving your own personal car, and so on and so forth. And that is, I think, what we need to do.
Senator Husbands added that the Ministry of Education has been forced to pay greater attention to the issue of health and safety at the island's schools, citing recent environmental problems at Combermere School and the Lawrence T. Gay Memorial Primary School, which cost the government more than $900,000 to correct. Husbands assured that all was well at both institutions.
We in the ministry certainly think that we have wrestled the problem to the ground, and we are confident that important solutions are in place. A similar occurrence at Lawrence T. Gay. Again, the government has had to spend $400,000 correcting some of these challenges. We live in an era in which people are much more aware of issues of safety and health and are much more susceptible, as we know, to respiratory issues and so on and so forth.
The granddaughter of international icon Nelson Mandela is urging Barbadians to continue the struggle for justice and equality led by the former South African president. She made the call while delivering brief remarks at the opening of the Mandela Freedom Park on University Drive.
I implore on the Barbadian people that this park must represent the responsibilities and the legacies of the people that are painted to the mural outside. These are the people that lived for social cohesion, social justice, humility, Ubuntu, a symbol of hope. Earlier on, we invoked the spirit of the ancestors. Now, when we invoke the spirit of the ancestors in my culture, you have to live up to their legacy, because there is hell to play if you do not do that. So I implore all of you that because you've invoked the spirit of these ancestors, you have to live up to their legacies and their memories and what they lived for.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only $2.25, $2.20. Who? For what? That's the Bear Stare News. I don't read about that from Barbados today since last night. That can't only care do. $2.20. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, Jamaica's obesity problem is getting bigger. Obesity rates among adults have climbed from 45% in 2002 to 54% in 2008. And at the end of last year, the rate stood at 60%. It's a major worry for Professor of Public Health and Nutrition Fitzroy Henry, who warns that obesity is at the root of a growing epidemic of non-communicable diseases, which are costing the government more than $170 million per year to treat. He is now leading a charge through the National Food Industry Task Force, launched yesterday to help turn the problem around. The task force will be seeking to implement programs to curtail the impact of obesity and chronic diseases. Further afield in London, family members of the American tourists killed during the recent Westminster Bridge terror attack joined victims and hundreds of well-wishers to mark 7 days since the horrific incident. The Westminster Bridge fell silent at 2:40 p.m. to mark the moment when Khalid Massoud began mowing down pedestrians, killing 3 before fatally stabbing a policeman in a courtyard on the grounds of the Parliament. Relatives of 54-year-old Kirk Cochran, the American tourist who died in the attack, were in attendance, as well as relatives of 3 victims, retired window cleaner Leslie Rhodes, 75, and mother of 2, Aisha Freyd, 44, and PC Keith Palmer, 48. That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a great evening.